Could you guys hear me, or do I have to repeat? Oh, I have to say it again. So, what I told the team was that I'm gonna give their coaches credit, and I'm gonna give their players credit, and that's really what I believe. We had chances in the first half. We didn't capitalize. You know, we left some points on the board. We missed probably a really pretty makeable field goal, and then we're down there again in a point to where we can take the lead, and we don't have a good snap. We don't cover it up, so we kind of left some points on the board. And when you play a good football team in a good college football environment on the road, you have to capitalize, in our opinion, you have to capitalize on those situations, and we really didn't. And then it just kind of snowballed early on us in the second half, and then we had to kind of become one-dimensional offensively, which makes it more difficult. But the one thing I did tell them was that I think the defense went out the last 3 times, maybe, I don't know, 4, I'm pretty sure 3, and got stops. And somebody will say, well, you're down 20 points. Well, it doesn't matter. They went out and got stops, and then offensively, right till the end, they competed, went down, and scored. So there's a lot for us to work on, coaching-wise, players, in the organization. And, I shared, with the team that the way that I think we as a team, and I'm talking about players and coaches, handle games where we don't play or coach as well as we want to. My history in doing this since 1986 as a player and coach is you got to work harder. So I told the team that I would come in earlier than normal tomorrow, and I'll stay later, and I'll do that every day all the way up until we play again on Saturday. Because that's what I believe in, that's the way I was raised, is in times where things don't go like you want them to, then you push harder and you maximize yourself. You continue to believe in who you are. And I really think the team will do a good job with that.
And you said you have stuff to work on. Where do you start?
Well, we concept-wise, I don't know. So we rushed for over 4 yards a carry, which is actually better than what we've been this year. So we have improved in that area. You'd like to minimize turnovers best you could. That would help. And then defensively, they're averaging like 8-point-something yards per rush. So we have to do a better job of matching up on the run. And just looking at this, penalties, we've still been good. We're still a disciplined team when it comes to penalties. Third down, 6 for 17, not bad. Third down against them, pretty good, 3 for 12. I'd like to, you'd like to score a few more touchdowns and kicking field goals against good teams, be a good spot. But not scheme-wise, we're fine. We got to fit the run better. Offensively, it's important for us now to stay balanced. Can't be one or the other.
Ollie got off to a good start, and then y'all kind of, the second quarter, he only got like 2 touches. Was that part of the game plan? Was that just what you were seeing? I mean, going away from Ollie after having a successful first
Well, we
quarter.
do a lot of RPOs, and number 19 for them, you see him running down the line of scrimmage. We don't have blocker for him. I mean, so, that's why some of the other stuff was working. And when you're a heavy RPO team like we are, you have a choice. You can just run it in there to him, or you can throw those routes we were throwing and try to make some of those plays.
On one of those drives that you mentioned where I think you ended up coming away with a field goal right after Corey's interception, you ran, I think, 2 Bowman runs in a row. Is that something targeting that off of the RPO stuff, trying to?
Well, when you run the quarterback, then you equalize numbers. And so we've had some quarterback run stuff. We really haven't gone to much of it, but on those run plays, you do have equal numbers. So we've had some stuff for that if we wanted to run the ball without the one disadvantage in the running game.
How critical was that stretch? You guys settle for a field goal there, and then 2 plays later, they have the touchdown.
That's what I'm talking about. And that's what happens. And I go back to playing, you play a good football team on the road in a good environment. And we had a chance to capitalize on it, take the lead. I don't remember how much time was left, 5:33 or 6:23 or something in the second quarter. So really, you're in great shape. And we didn't convert and gave them the ball and then allowed them to go right down the field. And so those are things that we can improve on. That's the good news. But we still have to get it accomplished.
Is there a consistent concern that pops up in your run defense? Is there something you're missing every week?
A little more difficult with a quarterback that's a runner. It's a little more difficult. So we can get to a half-man advantage in the run sometimes because obviously somebody's got to play him a little bit different, which that can be an issue. But there's plenty that we need to correct from me standing on the sidelines and watching it. Now, I don't look at the tablets. I hear what's being said. And then kind of put 2 and 2 together. So that's what I'm gonna say is there's times that we gotta get a safety and a backer in a little bit more closer proximity and run fit. And that's what we'll have to do moving forward.
Mike, what about Nick Martin?
I don't have any idea now. I mean, we'll know more probably Monday or something, so. Good news was he's walking around on his own. The bad news was he was limping, but I don't have any information on him.
Mike, last year and through the first half of this season, you guys have ranked, at the bottom of the country in total defense. Where do you need to see growth on that side of the ball? Is it still trying to learn a new scheme, or why has the defense struggled as much as that?
Well, we gotta be better in run fits, in my opinion, and then we give up some big pass plays over the top. And I know that sounds like a short answer, but what I was talking about earlier in run fits, so run fit is so important, and then a lot of times what happens, if you get to where you're uncomfortable with run fits and you start forcing a bunch of people up there, then that's when you're playing a lot of man coverage with no help in the back end. So it's kind of a two-way street. We gotta get a little bit better at this, a little bit better at this, and then you gotta mix it up. You gotta play the chess match.
Are you comfortable that you can get that figured out moving forward?
Well, I'm comfortable that we'll know what we need to work on, and we should improve during practices before the next game. That's what I'm comfortable with. Now, where we're at personnel-wise, where we're at concept-wise, scheme-wise. So what we're obligated for as coaches with the players is, here's what the issue is. Okay, it's either a scheme issue or it's a mistake issue. And then this is what we have to do to fix it, and then we gotta have a good week of practice to get better at it.
Were y'all able to, Ollie had a great start. Were y'all able to, was that y'all doing something different or just executing better?
Same stuff, yeah. It was the same stuff. It's, they play about a half-man advantage in the box. This is a different defense than what we've seen the last few weeks. And so, when the numbers were equal or a half-man disadvantage, we were effective with it. And then, they started dropping the extra guy down quite a bit. I mean, they're seeing the same thing y'all are. And so they made adjustments, and when that happens, football's a numbers game. So if that happens, then, the chess match is on and passing and mixing it up.
What did you make of Bowman's Day?
I thought he was, okay. Had to throw it 50 times, which is a lot. I'll have to wait to look on tape. Read-wise, his responsibility, he was pretty good in the RPO concepts.
Was there thought to throw one of those young guys out there whenever it didn't look like we're coming back in the fourth quarter? Was there thought to get Zane or Garrett out there?
We did. You said, did I think about it?
Yeah.
No.
Why not?
What's that?
Why not go to one of those guys late?
I don't think that's what's best at times for what we're trying to get accomplished offensively.
Mike, you guys knew that these first 2 games of conference play were gonna be difficult, but still, to come out 0-2, where's the head of the team right now? Just what's your sense of where things are with these guys?
Well, that's what I shared with you when I opened this press conference was, I asked them to follow my lead on everything we do all the time. And I asked them to trust me as a leader. And then I explained to them what I'm gonna do and what I think's best for the team. And then they have a choice to make. And I think that they'll come and they'll work tomorrow and they'll fight Monday and they'll be excited to get out there and coach and play. And our coaches will be excited about coaching them. And that's really your only option because we have a lot of games left. We need guys who want to come out and compete and play hard.
From a scoring standpoint, it was close to start the second half, but because of the big swing, did you get any sense that maybe some guys were pressing, maybe because it shifted where it felt like y'all sort of had control and then they get the touchdown? I don't know, did you feel anybody pressing and doing anything different to start the
I
second
don't think
half?
it's pressing. What happens is, when you're playing, when you have 2 teams that could be pretty much equal, okay, and obviously at the end, it didn't look like we were, the way it came out, but we left some points on the board and made some mistakes. But when it starts to separate a little bit, it's not necessarily they press. You get into a little bit different rhythm in your play calling on both sides of the ball. So they have to be a little more challenging defensively, which leaves you open to some things. And then offensively, you start to press the issue a little bit from that standpoint. But I thought the players did a good job of handling it and trying to respond.
Last couple.
A couple times this year, you've said that you didn't love the game plan, especially offensively against Arkansas, and then last week against Utah. How did you feel about the game plan
I'm
and
okay with
what
the
y'all were
plans.
preparing for?
Yeah, I was okay with the plans today without looking at the tape.
Last one.
Most of the time you see that through the first quarter and a half, first half, you can kind of get a feel for, okay, how was the game plan compared to them? And so I felt okay with our game plans.
Shetron's a guy we've seen y'all use, it seems like more and more, just I don't know, is he sort of proving himself that he can handle more and more each week?
He's doing good. Yeah, he's, we've talked about him. He had 2 pretty substantial injuries early in his career, and he's fought them coming back, and he's learning on the run. So, as you notice, this is the first time he's really playing a considerable number of snaps in games. So, even though he's not, he's been in the program, I think, 3 years? He's like a young kid because he hadn't played in competition, but until now. So he should start to get a little bit more of a comfort zone and start to play better, and we need him. We need those guys. But yeah, I've been pleased with what I've seen him do over the last 3 or 4 games.
Thanks guys.